talking Canucks and BC Lions. Hughes Sports Podcast. We're taking the lead, analyzing the game from the rink to the field. From the ice to the turf, we'll break it down. Discussing every win and every loss in town. We'll talk about the Canucks and the Lions. We are your irrational fans. We are your irrational fans.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to episode 89 of the Hughes Sports Podcast. I am your host, of course, Jake Hughes, alongside the old man. Old man, how the hell are you doing today?
Do you want the truth?
I know the truth.
I'm not doing good. I'm Dick.
You're what? Sorry? Can you? No. Do not repeat that.
I'm Dick. I got
Okay.
a duffed up nose. I got a really, really sore throat. So, and apparently I'm grumpy.
Well, I was,
I was told 3 times today I was grumpy, and it wasn't even from Ellison.
I might have called you grumpy once.
No, you said I wasn't allowed to be grumpy.
That's true. That is true.
Get off my lawn.
No, I will not get off your lawn.
Nah, I'm doing good. We got a big announcement today. Can we tell people?
We do have a big announcement. We can
How
tell
about we
people
wait
that we
for it?
have. I was gonna say, let's wait until like maybe the end of the show
Yeah.
to announce the big announcement.
Holy crapper doodles.
I don't know what Holy Crapper Doodles was about. You've thrown me for a loop. You've thrown me for a huge loop.
I broke Jake, and it's not even.
And you didn't even break me.
We're not even 5 minutes in, and I broke you.
You broke me by just being yourself, which I think is the greatest part. Like you didn't even like pick at me. It was just you just noticed something and you said it and then you moved on with your life and there was no follow up. I was waiting for some follow up, but there was nothing. Busy week in the world of sports in Vancouver. Because if you're watching this right now live, the Canucks are also taking the ice right now against the Calgary Flames in Abbotsford. It is not on TV. It is on Canucks.com.
Can we watch it?
I mean, you can try to watch it while you're also doing a podcast, and I would recommend you not because your focus is -0.
Huh?
Exactly. But last night we were able to see the Canucks get a win in their first preseason game, beating the Seattle Kraken by a score of 3-1. Old man, do you have any thoughts on the game?
Was that not like just one of those games where you kind of shook your head and went, "What is this? A preseason game, or is this like the last game of the season and we're fighting for a playoff spot?"
I
It was
100%.
fun.
It was chippy. It was, I wouldn't say great hockey, but good hockey.
Yeah.
There are a few people that I'm sure we'll get to in our breakdown of the game that I think are just not ready for NHL hockey, and it's evident. But the intensity that Seattle brought to the game was another level, and the Canucks matched it.
Well, yeah, and they matched it like step for step, stride for stride. It was one of those games where you're like, oh, this could be ugly, like last year was our first game. But
It was fun. Honestly, I think if Seattle and Vancouver play that way every single game this year, which I hope they will, that rivalry will start to build, because that's the rivalry. And I was talking about it last night because my girlfriend mentioned it. She's like, "Why is this game so chippy?" And I said, "I don't know. It makes no sense. It's a preseason game."
It was. I mean, you had our chaos giraffe, usually like the friendly giant, literally lose his freaking mind at the end of the first period. He Superman somebody, and
Which, to be fair, completely deserved. The hit,
100%.
I can't remember who it was by, but the hit on Höglander was way late.
No,
and
that
unnecessary.
it wasn't on Höglander. That was on
Garland. Sorry, Garland.
Nope. Right Remember, he hit his head on the ice. And then
No,
he
that was
fought.
the end of the first period.
Yes.
The end of the second period is where Myers jumped someone.
Oh, I thought it was the end of the first.
No, there was a scrum at the end of both periods.
Oh,
But
okay.
Myers Superman the guy at the end of the second, because I thought for sure we'd be coming back into the third being down Tyler Myers for the rest of the game.
Yeah, and we texted each other and said, "Oh, I think Myers might be gone," and you commented that so should somebody else.
Whoever threw the hit.
Yes, and if you go back onto it, well, that could be a lot.
That could be a
we've
lot.
had a lot.
Well, and it's also show day. So show day, we usually are chatting like twice as much as we normally do.
And I got a big guess, and I said, "Oh my god," a whole bunch of times.
Not that that was annoying or anything. Also, technically, I want to point out we have 3 big announcements.
3?
Two guaranteed announcements. One that's a tease of a future announcement. What we talked about today. We'll get to it. We'll get to it at the end of the show. But there's 2 huge announcements coming for the Hughes Sports Podcast YouTube channel, with a hint of a third.
I don't know what the third is, folks. I don't know. He just throws things at me. Next thing I know, I'm doing podcasts.
89 episodes of one before you start questioning it. So hey, we're doing something right.
It's like, hey, dude, show up on. It used to be Monday nights.
Started at Monday nights, yes.
Yeah, it used to be Monday nights.
Yeah.
And then I started working again, and we had to change it to Wednesday nights.
And then we went to Thursday nights, and then football came up, and then we moved it to Wednesday nights.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, and then we just keep bumping the times around.
Wednesday nights is good.
My only issue with Wednesday night
is hockey night.
Wednesday occasionally is hockey, but it's AEW always on Wednesday.
Well,
Dynamite's always on Wednesday. There's a delayed gratification, but I also stay off of Twitter, so there's no spoilers because I'm doing the show. So
and
really
I mean, you have a girlfriend now, so you shouldn't be able to watch wrestling on time. You should have to wait.
To be fair, I never watched it live to begin with because I hate commercials.
Yes.
So,
it doesn't matter to me. I like Wednesdays.
Focusing back onto what we are originally talking about is the Canucks' first preseason game against the Kraken. A player we both talked about and had high praise for coming out of Young Stars camp was Lekkerimäki. He played last night with Besser and Suter, and he's playing again today with EP40 and DeBrusque.
How come you got a question mark on that? You're not sure?
Because when I was making the rundown, because there was no morning skate today, there was no guaranteed lines, so I had a question mark. And then as we were getting ready for the show, Jeff Patterson kindly tweeted out that these are in fact the lines that they're running with.
We got to get Jeff back on the show.
Yes, we do.
Yeah, maybe beginning of the season. That'd be a good idea. I'll make a note of that.
Make a note of that. What did you think of Lekkerimäki's
pay attention over here. He's always staring off somewhere like he's busy playing a game.
Nope, I'm just bringing up the hockey game.
Oh my goodness!
That way I can update us when
Folks,
there are.
If you're not watching, you're missing half the show. What did I think of Lekkerimäki?
Yes.
Sorry, my voice is going to go, but that's okay. I thought he did okay. He wasn't a standout by any stretch of the imagination, but as you pointed out, he got 2 assists last night, and he played on the penalty on the power play.
Yeah, played on the.
And with Besser, you watched Besser, and I was watching some of the highlights after you had said that. And Besser was feeding him a lot. So Besser must have huge high regard for this kid. The other thing I noticed was how fast he moves the puck. That one goal where I believe that was
Ratu Carlson.
Rataputu, Hitu, Hatu. I don't even know how to say his name. But God, that kid's amazing.
Ratu, Carlson, and Garland.
Yeah, that was an amazing pass. But anyways, Lekkerimäki was the same way. There was quick passes, that's what impressed me about this whole squad they put out there, was the ability to control the passing and such clean, crisp, quick passes. None of this hold the puck, look around. It was boom, boom, boom. And the other thing I noticed was they got back to what I think made them successful last year, following Coach Tockett's game plan, is winning the winning the battle on the boards was huge.
Yeah, and Lekkerimäki played a big role in that. I noticed, and it was something I was paying attention to because he's a younger kid. He's only got a small handful of games in North America. He's played on the bigger ice. How willing was he to get into the boards and play in those dirty areas?
Yeah.
And I thought he did fantastic at that, but also his positioning. There was one play, I think it was in the first, where I noticed that he was out of position, but that's only because there was a breakdown of who was on the ice.
Yes.
And he was standing next to side by side with someone. And instantly, as soon as he saw, he was like, it was one of those, he did that one, oh crap, I'm not supposed to be where I am, and peeled off to where he's supposed to be. Other than that, I thought he played a fantastic game. And I almost want to push back on you that you didn't notice him. I noticed him in leaps and bounds in the fact that he didn't make mistakes.
And maybe, I mean, not noticing him was probably a good thing. Again, watching the highlights after we texted back and forth, if you call that chatting, how he squared himself up, ready for the puck. And you could literally see him physically doing it. And I was watching other players who didn't do that, the younger players, and I was like, oh, interesting. It's something that I was like, oh, that's cool.
And if you watch the high-end players, if you watch tonight after the show, hopefully the second and third period, watch Elias Pettersson, JT Miller, Besser when he's on the ice. They're always squared, ready for that pass to come to them, because you never know when it might squirt your way, and you get a scoring opportunity.
Exactly. No, I thought it was pretty darn good.
Listening to sports media, and the pundits that are, there's a real possibility that Lekkerimäki makes this team out of camp.
Wouldn't that be something?
Like Thomas Drance on Canucks Talk on yesterday, said that he believes there's an over 30% chance that he makes the team.
Wow.
Not saying he's good. And I haven't listened to what he said today. I was too busy. But he said, depending on his performance, that could easily be bumped up to 50 and above. And I think his performance allowed him to at least say he's in the conversation of playing with Petey and DeBrusk. If the chemistry tonight is anything like it was with Brock and Suter, which was good.
Yes.
Like if there's even a step above, if that chemistry is just that quick passing, the fact that they're both Swedish, we have seen it in the past before with Edler and the Sedins. They didn't play a lot together, but when they were on the ice together on the power play, there was that extra bit, and it was almost instantaneous. And if that is there, and DeBrusk can be that net front presence, go get and be the guy who's screening and making those types of plays, I think that's a top top 6 line on any organization.
Oh, for sure.
Anything else that you want to talk about with Lekkerimäki? Because I could gush on for the next 45 minutes.
The only thing I wasn't super impressed with, and I yelled at the TV a couple times, is he was on the first. Was he on the first power play?
Yes.
They were trying to set him up too much, and it became really obvious what they were doing, and that frustrated me. But other than that, I mean, no.
The one thing I want to, now that you brought it up, the power play. Did you notice when they were breaking out, instead of doing the drop pass that everyone does that no one likes, but it's clearly effective because every team does it, they were trying instead of bank pass off the boards.
Yeah, they tried that a couple times,
and neither time did it work. And I'm wondering if it's not the right person.
It worked one time I saw by accident.
But I think I want to know if it's one of those, it's not the right personnel on the ice. Like if you bang past that and Quinn Hughes is coming up full speed off of a pass from JT Miller, who's a bit stronger, knows what he's doing a little bit more, is that going to work differently? It's just something I want to keep an eye on moving forward. If that's just something they did for the preseason game just to kind of throw people off, or if that's going to be a new play that they have to enter the zone.
I mean, with Tocchet, anything's possible.
Yeah.
Right? The guy's a genius as far as I'm concerned. Probably one of the, I would rate, sorry, my throat isn't going to last.
No,
I'm going to rate him probably one of the top coaches the Canucks have ever had.
That's pretty high praise.
That is. I think so.
I think that's very high praise because there's been some like really, really great coaches in the Canucks organization.
He's up there with Roger Nielsen, Burke. We had some good coaches.
Alain Vigneault, even going not that far back.
Yeah.
Vigneault bringing you to game 7, right? Like,
yeah, exactly.
One person I did want to talk about is Vilmer Ulrichsen. Very physical. He's a 6'6" forward. Did you notice him out there at all? Because I know we were reading through this before, and you asked, "Who is that?" I don't know if
that? Who is that? I mean, he fought.
fought?
So of course I noticed him. And again, is it a bad thing if you don't notice him? Nobody looked horribly out of place.
I can argue that point, but
nobody looked horribly out of place. Like it was like boys against men out of place.
I think in the first 2 periods, Wolanin looked so out of place. And
really?
then the third period happened, and I don't know if it was just he got over the nerves or someone pulled him aside and talked to him. He looked fantastic. But those first 2 periods, every time he touched the puck, it was a rushed decision.
If my voice was would last longer, I would have argued that point, but I'm going to give you it.
Fair.
But Velmer, I mean, big kid, big defenseman, another big defenseman.
No, he's a forward.
Oh, is he? I thought he was a defenseman. Sorry.
I'm pretty sure he's a winger. Left
winger.
Oh,
okay. Good presence. I mean, again, I didn't notice him, so I can't really comment too much.
Fair. The only reason I ask is because he's 6'6", 100 and some odd pounds, close to 200 pounds. Sorry, 214 pounds is the official record. That's what I was looking up there. 214 pounds, 6'6", has that physical presence. I don't know if I saw enough in his game to say he can make the team.
6'6", 214 pounds. He's like that skinny dude.
Yeah.
Like he's a skinny little guy.
But he's 19.
He's gonna grow into it, right?
He's definitely gonna grow into it. And
who is the other kid that fought?
Friedman. We'll get to Friedman in a second.
Okay.
If Dakota Joshua isn't ready to go, I know he's not a direct replacement because I don't think his skills are near as close to what Joshua's are. I would love to see the Canucks give him a run of 5 or 6 games in the NHL for the regular season.
Oh, really?
To me, he's got that high-end potential, and I don't think he's ready for the NHL, but I'd love to see him get 6 or 7, 8 minutes a night for 5 or 6 games. Let him see what the development needs to be and where he needs to get to at that level of, okay, I need to fill out, I need to do this. This is where I need to work on.
Yeah.
And then send him down to the juniors or to his team in Sweden. Because I think that is our next Dakota Joshua replacement. I think that's a Dakota Joshua replacement of the future.
Really? Okay. Interesting. Yeah. I'll have to watch him.
He is playing again tonight. So there are 6 players playing tonight that played yesterday.
Only 6, eh?
He's not playing tonight. It's Ratu, Lekkerimäki, Sasson, Blaze, Carlson, and Wolanin.
I'm surprised Blaze is playing again. I mean,
I get why he's playing. He's on a PTO.
Yeah.
And I think it would be unfair to him on a PTO to not play him.
Give him a chance.
Because he's not just auditioning for the Canucks. He's auditioning for the rest of the NHL as well.
You got it. Yeah, that's true. You know what? Yeah, you got a good point there.
To me, that's one of those. I'm sure he's a veteran guy, and I'm sure the team went to him and said, "Hey, do you want to play back to back?" And he said, "Yes, I can do it." And they said, "Okay, we'll do it because it gives you more eyes to play in front of."
Yeah, exactly. You don't think he's going to stick around?
I don't.
No.
I think he was the one sore spot other than Will Lannon, who I think figured out in the third period. And I mentioned it to you last night, is
You did.
Blaze, I found, was not confident with the puck, was kind of all over the place, made mistakes, and those are the only times I noticed him. It's not like he made enough plays away from the puck or was invisible long enough that I was like, okay, he can fit in a bottom six role if need be.
Yeah.
I just think there's too much risk in signing a player like that, especially with us at the top end of the cap as it is, trying to accrue as much for LTIR.
Now I noticed. Sorry, I noticed you didn't put Atu Ratu. You didn't even mention him in your.
I didn't want to have a different. I didn't want to have a different thing for every single player.
Oh, okay. Now,
because
do you think he makes the team?
I think
if all you had to go by, this is cool. If all you had to go by was last night, does he make the team?
Do I have knowledge of if Joshua is back or not?
Joshua's not back.
Then yes, he makes the team.
Yeah. Lekker-Mackey. Same scenario.
The Canucks fan in me, the irrational, like I can see him being the next big superstar, the next big Swedish superstar in a Canucks uniform. I don't know if he's ready based off of that one performance.
Yeah.
I think there's still questions to be answered, and that's why he's playing again tonight.
Now, is Atu Ratu, is he going up? Does he have to beat out Oman to make the team?
I don't know if he has to beat him because, again, if Bluger and Joshua are out to start the season, then I think both of those guys slide in, no problem. If one of them are back, then yes, I think they need to beat that one last position is their spot to fight for.
Now, if you look back and you've seen how many times Oman sat in the press box last year, do you want Ratu to be doing that?
Again, if neither one of them are back, he makes the team.
Yeah,
I believe he's still
waiting.
They both make the team. If one
and
is,
they play,
and they both play. They both play with Garland because I think that's a ready-made line.
Yes,
to go right off the bat. If one of Bluger or Joshua is back, I think it's a fight for the other one. I think if someone's sitting in the press box, it's going to be Oman, and Ratu is going to go back down to the A.
Yes, that's what I was getting to.
And the reason for that is just because Ratu still is young enough that he needs to be playing those minutes every single night. Oman is what Oman is, and I don't mean that to be rude. He's solid, if not great, third, fourth line player.
Well, how old is Oman?
Let me pull that up.
Ratu's 21.
He's 24.
Yeah, so he's got a couple of years.
3 years older.
Yeah, right.
So that's just my personal opinion. I also think Ratu can play center a little bit better and win faceoffs better than Oman can, and that might be the difference maker.
Was it Lekker-Mackey who took the faceoff and then just he was just out there to take the faceoff, or was that Ratu? He has a really weird stance.
No, I think that was Ratu.
Was it?
I can't remember exactly who it was, so don't quote me on that for
I think
certain.
It was one of the two, though.
But it was, you know why that was? It's because he flipped his stick to take it on his backhand.
Yeah. It was really weird.
He won it. He won the faceoff and got to the bench because that was his job. His job was to go out there and win the faceoff.
Bizarre.
It worked. I'm not going to argue with it. It worked.
He won, and he went off. He went off the ice. That's the only reason he was on the ice.
Yeah.
So again, I will never question. Yes, I will. Very rarely will I question Coach Tocchet, but I was like, that's weird.
And that
What's
might
his
not even
name?
be.
The other Canuck that used to do that all the time.
Well, I think it's the same person, because that might not be Coach Tocchet. That might be the new AHL head coach. And I don't think we ever talked about this because it somehow slipped my radar. Manny Malhotra.
Yes. Is he a coach with the Canucks now?
Yes.
Oh, that would make sense. So he's probably setting somebody up to be that face-off specialist.
Right.
Right?
And not even that. He might just work with the centers, especially through training camp and young stars, where it's like, centers, you're with me for X minutes. All we're going to do is practice different types of face-offs in different ways and unique ways to win face-offs, because that was his specialty.
Well, it was, right? And I mean, I believe his stat for the night was like 4 losses in the face-off, 14 wins, 4 losses, I think, for Lekkerimäki, if that's correct. So yeah, no, it was a for the first preseason game, I wasn't expecting to be that entertained. I was overly entertained.
It was Ratu.
Was it? Okay.
Yeah.
It was
Because
Ratu.
that stat was Ratu, because he's the only one who's at a 77.8% face-off
Yes.
percent.
Okay. It was Ratu. Okay.
No, super loved it.
Yeah.
I have notes here.
Jake Jake literally texted me and said, "I'm taking notes."
Literally, I had my phone out.
And I was like, taking notes of what? And then I realized we were watching the hockey game. So I thought he was taking notes of shit I was saying. I'm like, don't take notes of shit I'm saying. That's only going to get you into trouble.
If, and it's a big if, I mean, it's the most likely if Lekkerimäki goes back down to the AHL, needs some more time to season.
Yeah.
We were talking about the Atu Ratu, Niels Höglander. No. We were talking about the other line. Garland, Ratu, and Oman. If Lekkerimäki goes down, you might keep that line together. The reason you might keep that line together is because Bluger or Joshua could move up to that line to play with Patterson.
Yes.
Right?
That's true.
Sorry, just something else I saw in my notes, that there's so many pieces of this puzzle, and you're like, oh, it's like 80% done. And then you get into it and it's like, well, but this piece fits here and here and here. What do we do?
Well, and who was it we said that where does he fit if he makes it? Who was that?
Who was that today?
I forget. We were talking about somebody and we said, if they make it, where do they fit? We both went, I don't know. But what a great position to be in, that you have all these opportunities, or players that have opportunities that you can slide in and out.
It is the best possible situation for a team that already has high expectations.
Yes.
I actually today was watching the Steve Dangle podcast break down the Canucks season, like what they expect. And just thinking about it, I got goosebumps, because they're saying it's not just, oh, like they're going to have another good season. No. They said, and I'm quoting here, if you pick them to win the President's Trophy, I would not be surprised. I also wouldn't be surprised if they came in second in the Pacific and made a run to the Stanley Cup.
I think I got a fever. I'm not sure I just heard that. Would you stop?
That's
my God, kid.
Literally what they and that's pundits outside of the Vancouver bubble. They are Toronto media to the extreme.
I think
that's how good this team is being looked at from the outside looking in. Everyone's biggest question mark is goaltending. And Lankinen has really eased a lot of concerns. Shelovs was fantastic. We didn't even talk about Shelovs yet.
There was so much to talk about. We didn't even talk about Shelovs. Absolutely phenomenal.
Ridiculous.
Some of the saves he made, that one where he dove to his left.
Yeah.
Yeah. The first one where he dove to his right was phenomenal. But then when he dove to his left was just messed up, man. It was like, how does he do that?
It's ridiculous.
Yes.
Ridiculous.
But I love it. It's a good ridiculous.
Yep. And Lankinen landed yesterday, had his first skates with the team. He was still in Finland, so
Nice.
came over as soon as possible. He already has experience with the new goaltending coach, and I can't think of his name. I was delaying to trying to think of his name, and I can't. But he already has a relationship with them because they both played in Helsinki, or they are both from Helsinki, which is always helpful.
Well, the language is there.
Yep. Anything else you want to talk about the first preseason game?
No, let's keep it going. Man, 5 more till they count.
That was the next thing. We're technically in the middle. We're 5 minutes into it being 4 more till they count for real. It looks like, and I'm just looking over my screen here, it looks like the Abbotsford arena is jam-packed.
Oh, I wouldn't.
There were reports that it was slow selling, and then they announced that Hughes was going to be playing.
So it sold.
And then it ended up getting some sales out. So it's good to see for Abbotsford. Like, to be able to bring the big team out to Abbotsford is fantastic.
Yes.
But just to have the farm system in Abbotsford is even better.
Exactly.
Before we jump into the week that was in the CFL, anything else you want to talk about with the Canucks?
No, let's
or
go.
NHL or hockey in general?
Let's get it going.
All right. So first things first, we want to thank our sponsor of today's show, and today's sponsor is brand new. Shout out to SeatGeek for sponsoring us. We recently became a brand ambassador for them. If you don't know, SeatGeek is a ticket app that takes the confusion of buying tickets. Basically, when you go to the app, you put in whichever event you want to go to, whether it's a sporting event, a concert, the ballet, a dinner theater. You go and you can check out, and it shows you on a score of 0 to 10 on each ticket to know if it's actually a good deal or a bad deal. Green means good, red means bad. Plus, with this partnership, if you use code HSPPOD on checkout, you save $20 off of your first ticket purchase.
Oh, wow.
Remember, that's code HSPPOD. You can find it in the description as well as on your screen right now. HSPPOD at SeatGeek.com. Thank you so much to SeatGeek for sponsoring the show. We really do appreciate it. Please do check out SeatGeek because it is a fantastic app. Has all sorts of tickets available for you, everything in your area.
I'm on SeatGeek right now. I'm just kind of browsing. Sorry. I'll be back. You keep talking.
Well, the next thing I was going to talk about, I'm going to need you because this week we were we both were tied up with family events all weekend, and unfortunately did not have a chance to watch almost any of the CFL games this week between my officiating and our personal family events.
Personal family events. That sounds like such a weird thing to say. Personal family events.
What would you call it?
I would call it a celebration of life for your Uncle Jack, who was huge fan of this show, and he watched every week. So we could talk about it.
Well, I don't know what limits you want to have on everything, but
nothing.
Yeah. So with the celebration of life, unfortunately, with the size of the Hughes family, there was too many people to catch up with in just one day. So it literally took up the whole weekend.
And it was fun.
It was a fantastic catching up with everyone. There's a handful of people I haven't seen in a few years, so it was nice to catch up with them. But that means are you checking out SeatGeek right now?
They got like tickets to. Can you see that? There we go. Tickets.
Do not say what the tickets are to.
Oh,
they are to a hockey event.
Oh, we're not allowed to say what game.
Correct.
Oh, well, it was a game we wanted to go to.
Yes,
and it's really inexpensive, guys.
Well, we can chat about that after. But again, that is the reason why we partnered up with SeatGeek. Again, use code HSPPOD on checkout to save $20 off your first purchase.
Wow, that even makes it cheaper.
he's doing the math in his brain. $20 less, that's almost free.
That's almost free.
Let's jump into the week that was in the CFL. We'll go very quickly through this because, again, we did not watch it. We do not have a lot of insight on it, but we'll do our best. The Hamilton Ticats beat the Toronto Argonauts by a score of 33-31. Is Hamilton over the last few weeks, and that's the reason I pose this question, is we can look back at the last few weeks for us. Are they proving better? They are better than their record.
Well, Bo is on fire, dude. I think he had like 1,200 yards in this game.
I don't think that's true, but
he was like, I think he ran for 600 and threw for another 600.
Well, he threw for 362 yards.
I know. It was insane. Bo's back. Bo's trying to prove that he is still the man.
And to be fair, he also carried the ball on three occasions for 19 yards. For Bo, that's basically running for 600 yards.
Yeah.
Like the Hamilton Tiger Cats are now 5-9, still losing records. But I think they're better than the record shows right now.
Their playoff spot is still open. Like they still have a chance to make the playoffs, which
it's so ridiculous. Being 5-9 and having a chance.
Right?
It's a small chance, but it's a chance.
It's a chance. The chances are they won't make the playoffs, but there is that ability that they could.
Honestly, the most likely scenario for Hamilton to make the playoffs is a crossover and take the third place in the West.
Yeah.
Right? Because Saskatchewan 6-7, they're 5-9. Edmonton's 5-9, Calgary's 4-9. Right? Like there is a chance that you could have BC Hamilton or Winnipeg Hamilton as your Western final matchup.
No, I heard it on CFL chatter. Winnipeg's locked up first place already.
I read that post too. And then I did math. I very quickly did math, and that's not the case.
I didn't have to do math. I just looked at the standings and went, no, that's not the case.
Well,
they're only 2 points ahead.
Yep.
With how many games left? 5? 4? 4 games left.
17, 18, 19, 20, 21. Yep.
4 games left.
4 games
and they're
left.
2 points ahead. So you have a possibility of 8 points.
And they're 2 ahead, which means that the Lions need to get 6 points more. They just need to get 1 win more than what Winnipeg does.
Winnipeg. And then they wonder why we call them the Smurf Mafia.
The big thing is, like, looking at it, the Lions only have 3 games left. No, they have 4 games left in a bye.
Yeah.
So there's 5 weeks left, but only 4 games for everyone.
Yeah.
It could come down to the Winnipeg Montreal game on Saturday, October 26th.
Yes.
Where the BC Lions are at home, sitting on their hands, watching the game. Which would be the best thing for the league. Having controversy, like having it being sorted out on the last day, like the storylines coming into that is going to be great.
Yeah, I still say BC has to have home field in the Western Final to win. I can't see them going to Winnipeg and beating them.
I do.
I hope you're right. Oh,
I do.
God, I hope you're right.
Because the only reason I say I do is that Winnipeg's, like, if you hear what some of their players are starting to say and have been saying this year, they're starting to believe their own hype.
Oh,
they believe, and I honestly believe they believe that they're a dynasty.
Yes. Oh, they do. They have believed that for a couple of years. It's
so divorced from reality because in my books, a dynasty needs to win multiple years in a row. Multiple years in a row, not just one.
Yeah.
Like if Montreal repeats, they'll be the closest to a dynasty. That's the closest we've had to a dynasty in many, many years in the CFL.
Well, Winnipeg won twice.
In a row?
Yeah, because they won and then there was COVID and then they won again.
Doesn't count as twice in a row.
It kind of does because there was no game.
Nah. But again, winning 2 in a row is closer to a dynasty than what they've put together recently.
Exactly. It's like, come on, boys.
And then we jump to the Riders taking on the Calgary Stampeders. The Riders win by a score of 37-29. I don't know anything about this game. Do you know who started for the Stamps?
Mayor.
Did Mayer start?
Yeah, Mayor started. I watched a little bit of this game. Yeah, we watched a little bit of it, but
this was Friday night.
Yeah,
I think you watched most of the game because Calgary went for it on fourth down. Jesus Christ, stop watching the NFL. On third down, out of shotgun.
I lost my marble.
And threw an interception.
I lost my marble. First off, you're at the, I think, 3-yard line or 2-yard line. It was first and goal to go from the 2. And you're going for it on third down and you line up in shotgun. Just bizarre. That was when I think I texted you and said that Dickinson's got to be fired. But it was the first win, post Labor Day win for the Riders since 2021.
They haven't won a game post Labor Day in 3 years.
Isn't that a wild stat? Like, seriously, you haven't won a game in the last half of the season in 3. This is the first win. The last 2 years you didn't win. That's funny. Because they come out of the gates like gangbusters and then they die. So
I just want, like, I'm looking at this right now.
Calgary literally gave this game away.
A minute 22. Saskatchewan goes offside to take a 3rd and 6 to make it a 3rd and 1.
Yes.
At the 40. So the ball was at Calgary's 41-yard line.
This is the play. Yes, this is right. I had it wrong.
31-yard line. And it says here, right here on the play-by-play from the CFL.ca, shotgun. Jake Meyer, pass intercepted. Look, Dickinson. Look, you might be coaching high school football right now. You might be watching game film to figure it out. You have Tommy Stevens, one of, if not top 2, the top.
I would say the best.
The only reason I say maybe is because I think Strevler is up there as well.
Strevler's there too. Yes, okay.
For short yardage quarterbacks. Who also, every time he has a chance, throws the ball fantastically and usually makes his passes to the right team.
You had over a minute.
You have over a minute. I get you don't trust your defense. Clearly in the fourth quarter, they allowed 13 points. I get it.
They couldn't stop you.
But you put Tommy Stevens in, and even if you want to play run a play out of shotgun, you have Tommy Stevens stand there like he's getting ready to go up to the line, and you snap the ball really quick. That's allowed. It's not a deceptive play, contrary to popular belief. But then Tommy Stevens starts running with the ball, and if he sees an open option, he throws it to them. If not, he runs the ball and gets the first down because you have a yard. In the CFL, you get a yard to start.
Any team that is 3rd and 1 and you're going to go shotgun needs to have a discussion. There's something wrong in Cowtown. How's that?
And was it did they call a play and then never reset it after the offsides penalty? Is that what happens?
No. Makes no sense.
Makes no sense to me.
No.
Either way, Stamps deservedly lose the game, whether it be coach's fault, players' faults. They're all at blame. They all deserve to take blame for this loss.
Yes, definitely.
And I think at this point now have all but secured a spot at the bottom of the CFL leaderboard.
For the first time since 2005, they won't they won't be making the playoffs.
So that's 19 years. I was 12 when that last happened.
Think about that for a sec. It's
It's ridiculous.
we had like we were still newbies in Alberta. We had only been here for 3 years at that point.
Yeah.
Right? We got here in 2002. Bizarre. Sorry. Carry on, my voice.
Just bizarre. Then we have the Montreal Alouettes on Saturday taking on the Ottawa Redblacks, winning by a score of 24-12. The Owls just continue their dominant 2024.
Just insanely good, eh?
No.
They lost 2 in a row. Was it 2 or 3 in a row?
2 in a row. I think they went, didn't they? Were they one of the ones that tied?
Could be.
They went winless in 3, but 2 losses in a row.
Yeah.
Something like that.
This is a game, again, I didn't get to watch at all.
Yeah.
I didn't get to watch anything on Saturdays, so.
Me either, but from the looks of things on social media, it was just Cody Fajardo and the Owls picking back up, realizing that the season's not over, and they do, in fact, need to lock up home playoff fields.
What I did notice on social media was BLT's going to start this week, and
Yes.
they're going to sit Trey.
Which I don't blame him. Jarius has done that to McLeod Bethel Thompson when he wasn't playing well, said, no, time to sit down. And now they swap out. I think it's totally fair. Everyone who's upset about it needs to relax.
Okay. Jake has spoken. I'm just worried as what the effect it's going to have, on Trey Ford.
I think
because football's such a huge part, especially as a quarterback. It's a mental game.
Yep.
So I'm hoping that doesn't affect him mentally. I'm hoping he's strong enough that he can withstand it. Maybe he'll get mad and come out swinging.
Breaking news. With 22.5 seconds left to go, Jake DeBrusk just scored a goal for the Vancouver Canucks. His first as a Vancouver Canuck.
Thank you, Jake.
Sorry. DeBrusk is saying he didn't hit it, that it went in, that Sasson's goal, but I think DeBrusk got a piece of that.
Yeah. Every time I hear DeBrusk, all I can think of is we never have to listen to DeBrusk on color again.
It's true.
As long as DeBrusk is with our team.
You watched the game last night. During the intermissions, there was, of course, Satyar Shah. There was...
Who was it?
Satyar Shah.
Oh, okay.
There was also Ian McIntyre. And there was Landon Ferraro.
Who the hell's that?
You know Ray Ferraro. Does analysis for Canucks games.
Yeah.
Sometimes. Well-known reporter. That's his son.
Oh, is it?
And if you closed your eyes and you knew how Ray started, and it's one of those, that's not his voice because it sounds so similar to how Ray speaks. It took me a long time for it to get in my brain that that's actually is his voice. People
say that about you and me, but it was funny because somebody looked over at you when we were at the Celebration for Life. It was Gwen's sister, and you were just a kid when you met the last time that you saw her, and she looked over and went, "That has to be your son." I'm like, yeah, we kind of look alike, eh? No. Anyway, it was funny because I was watching them, and I was like, "Who the hell is that?" I didn't even know who it was. Like, they didn't say his name. They probably did, and I missed it. And listening to him, I was like, "Whoever this is, they've got some hockey knowledge." Right?
I mean, he played for many years. He played in the NHL, went over and played in Europe as well.
Mm-hmm.
And
be a good addition.
I mean, his dad's around the game. I don't know if it's his mom or was part of the Canucks organization for a little bit as well. I'm pretty sure she still is.
Okay.
But transitioning back to the last game in the CFL, we got distracted there by Jake DeBrusk. The Winnipeg Blue Bombers supposedly locked up first place in the CFL by beating the Elks by a score of 27-14, which breaks the Elks' 6-game winning streak.
Why did I talk about BLT before I got to the Elks? That was weird.
Because we're talking about social media, and this was the next game.
Oh, okay. It was weird. Anyway, again, I didn't watch, and I have to apologize because I did mean to go back and watch the highlights, and I haven't even done that. So, my apologies, folks.
I meant to today as well, but my day got thrown to the winds with different things. So, yeah, I had interviews today.
Oh,
I had interviews today.
Is that what you call it?
Jesus. Yeah, I've got really nothing on the Bombers, Alex, as I wasn't able to watch the game. Hopefully next week we can be a little bit more insightful with our commentary regarding the football games. We broke the old man. He is broken beyond all belief. Now, this is the time where normally I'd say it's time for everyone's favorite part of the show. But before we do that, we brought on SeatGeek.com, SeatGeek as a new sponsor. Rangeland RV is an ongoing sponsor, as is Kelstermania. If you or someone you know has a business that you want to promote to a small and dedicated, loyal audience, hit us up at HughesSportsPod@gmail.com.
Why do you say small?
Because we're not on the radio getting thousands and thousands and thousands of listens.
Okay, fine.
We're not Sakaris and Price getting thousands and thousands, or Rod Peterson getting thousands and thousands.
We'll get there.
We'll get there. But if you want to be an early supporter of the Hughes Sports Podcast and you have a business that you want to promote, let us know. HughesSportsPod@gmail.com. We're very
cheap.
flexible. I wouldn't say we're cheap, but we're flexible in what we can.
We're cheap.
What we can do for you. And how we can work together to keep the show growing. With that being said, old man, are you ready for everyone's favorite segment of the show?
Sure.
It's time for the old man predictions. How well did he do? Do-do-da, do-dee-do.
That's right. It is time for the old man predictions. How well did he do? Do-dee-da, do-dee-do. I need to edit this just 1 second here.
What are you editing? No editing, man. You're freaking ripping me off points all the time.
You went this week 2 wins, 2 losses.
It should be like 38 or 39.
Bringing you to a total record on the Hughes Sports Podcast, 32 wins, 23 losses, 2 ties, for your streak record of 13 losses and 3 perfect weeks. You can do whatever you want. It's not showing on the screen yet.
It is.
Not on my screen.
Oh, on my screen it does.
Well, we'll fix that. Don't worry.
Okay. So, first game is Winnipeg plays host to the Elks.
Yes.
I can't believe I'm doing this. I'm taking the home team.
You are taking the Winnipeg Blue Bombers.
I hope I'm wrong.
I would. That's 2 weeks in a row we haven't seen Charlie. Someone should do a health check on him.
Yeah.
I would take the complete opposite on this. I think
you think the Elks are going to bounce back?
I think McLeod Bethel-Thompson, I mean, he wants to prove that he's still a starter.
Otherwise known as BLT.
He will come out swinging. And I think puts the Bombers in their place.
Yes.
Then we have the Tiger Cats, the nightcap on Friday night. The Tiger Cats taking on the Lions in BC.
It's a kitty cat game.
It's the Cats versus the Lions.
It's a kitty cat game.
Did you know that the Tiger Cats, how they got their name?
No.
There was actually 2 teams way back in the day. It was the Hamilton Tigers and the Hamilton Cats, and they merged, and that's why it's Tiger-Cats. It's actually a culmination of the Tigers and Cats not
I
a
did
tiger
not
cat.
know that.
It's tigers and cats together.
Jake, you're freaking full of useless information.
You see,
So
that's just
what
what.
else we know? Of course, I'm taking my Lions.
Yeah,
By
hard not
10.
to. Hard not to. They did announce that Nathan Rourke is your starter
Yes.
this week against the Tiger Cats. And Vernon Adams Sr. took to Twitter
Yes.
and was not happy about it. I don't know if you saw that.
I didn't.
Um,
Oh, well.
people are upset.
They created a controversy that didn't need to be there.
Or are they trying to jack up the price for an in-season trade?
Oh, might be. That would
According
be cool.
according to Farhan, the teams have reached out and there's not any interest in trading him. But if there's some backlash online, maybe that changes.
Maybe it's big conspiracy theory.
Hey, look, all I'm saying is if you can get like
You have a tinfoil hat close by?
three first overall picks, like three first round picks,
And a few
and an offensive lineman.
or a whole offensive line.
You know what? Get rid of all the picks. Just give me a whole new offensive line. I'll be set. The first game on Saturday, we have the Ottawa Redblacks taking on the Saskatchewan Roughriders.
I took the Rough Riders.
This is an early game. This game is on at 1 p.m. on Saturday.
2. Oh, yeah, 1 p.m. Pacific. That's correct.
I have 1 p.m. Mountain.
No, I got 4 p.m. Eastern. I could be wrong. This sometimes is wrong. I'm just off pick 'em.
Yeah, I'm not too sure. But either way,
Yeah.
early game for
Early game
this,
Saturday again.
which I believe this one also is on CTV and not
It
on
is.
TSN.
It is on CTV.
Then we have our nightcap, the Montreal Alouettes going into Toronto to take on the nameless quarterback and the Argonauts.
The nameless quarterback. The quarterback who shall not be named will fall to the mighty Cody Fajardo.
Well, folks, I went 3 correct, 1 wrong this week.
Did you? What did you?
I
Which
did.
one did you go wrong?
I thought you would have picked the Elks.
I went back and forth. I did. But I think Winnipeg's on a bit of a run. We have to give it to them.
I've never said that they're not a very talented team. I just said that they're not a dynasty. For week 16, the old man predicts that the Bombers, Lions, Riders, and Owls will be the winning teams.
I think you should take your mortgage payment and you should
Do not do anything of that sort. This is why we can't have a live mic in front of him sometimes, especially when he's loopy. We need to stress this, and I can't stress this hard enough. This is not betting advice in any way, shape, or form. We are not betting professionals. We do not. If you have a gambling problem, see someone. Do not bet your mortgage payment on anything the old man says.
Wow.
The worst part is as soon as you opened your mouth, I knew exactly what you were going to say. You know what you can bet your mortgage payment on?
That we'll be here next week.
We will be here next week,
Oh.
and we have a huge guest. What is that? Can you please explain to me what that was? Again, folks, if you're only listening, I apologize. What the fuck was that?
It was me being excited.
He doesn't get out much, folks. He really doesn't.
I think I got a fever.
Whether the old man's here or not, next week we will have Canucks Central and Canucks game host on Sportsnet 650. He's also a TV analyst for Sportsnet. None other than Satyar Shah joining the show to talk the Canucks, getting us ready for what will be the week of Game 1.
Now, all joking aside, I was trying to see if I could break Jake. I think I did. This is huge for us. I reached out to Sat, and he jumped on it right away. So super, super excited. This one's might take us over the top, folks. So tune in next week, and I promise I won't do anything stupid while he's here.
I make no guarantees that he will do that. Something else that I think is going to be finalized later this week is that I will be doing a post-game show after every single Canucks game.
Post-game
They might
show?
not be post-game show. It's going to be a recorded show. It's not going to be live.
Okay.
It'll be a recorded show going through everything. And the reason for the fact that it's not going to be live is that there are times where with my officiating that I'm going to have to watch the game very delayed. But every morning when you wake up, there will be a show that is posted to the Hughes Sports Podcast feed and a YouTube video to go along with it, covering the game, catching up. In case you miss a game, we will be here. I will be here to break down what the game was like, my opinions. And if the old man's awake and available, I might bring him in. Occasionally, maybe I'll have some guests. But we will have 82 games of post-game coverage.
How long are these post-game coverage going to be?
I'm hoping to aim for 10 to 15 minutes.
Oh, so they're going to be short.
They're going to be just a short, quick breakdown of the game, kind of jump over or jump through the non-specifics, how the game was, the feeling, the scores, who looked good, who didn't,
So
if there's any news out of the games.
Sort of like Farhan Lalji does for the BC Lions games, that kind of idea.
Exactly, except I'm going to knock on wood, and I'm still playing around with different things, and but I want to add graphics and everything, so it will be more of a YouTube show, but I will also release it as a podcast form for those who travel on their way into work and want to catch up on the game, hear my opinions. It'll be live for you.
That'd be cool. We're looking forward to that, Jake.
Also,
I don't know anything about this also, folks.
Keep your eyes peeled to social media and the YouTube channel on or around October 4th, as there may be some news regarding a different series and potentially something for you, the fans watching the show. You can find us at HSP_pod on Twitter, Hughes Sports Podcasts on Facebook. Can I help you? You seem confused.
Well, you just kind of like teased at something, but never really said anything.
Exactly. Welcome to what a tease is. Remember when I said I have
Well,
a
you
tease?
didn't even like you just kind of went October 4th, and then you just babbled.
If you know what October 4th is,
What's
you can
October
look up,
4th?
it is just one day after the start of the actual NHL season.
Oh, so it has something to do with the actual NHL season.
I wouldn't go that far.
Oh, okay.
It has to do with the NHL, though. You're on the right track.
I figured
the
it
right
had
track
something
of
to
it.
do with hockey.
It definitely has something to do with hockey.
Oh, I know.
It might be more related to next year, to 2025.
Right. It's something I don't do.
Something you will do. Maybe.
I don't do.
But check us out. Keep your eyes peeled at HSP_pod on X, Twitter, or whatever it is you want to call it. Follow us on Facebook at Hughes Sports Pod or at HSP_pod. Again, if you are going to a game for preseason, if you're going to a concert, anything, last minute tickets, SeatGeek.com is your place to get tickets. You can use HSP Pod. That's HSP POD to get $20 off your first ticket purchase at SeatGeek.com. Thank you so much for tuning in, and we will see your beautiful faces here next